All right, we're here doing CC4. We're trying to unlock this Aciddrop costume by doing powerful enemy and weakness at the same time. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of trouble with this one. EchoGen has a really nice video on this, and the only problem there is that it uses like 5 or 6 operators that I do not have. So I took some inspiration from that, but tried to build a version with some older operators, things that maybe a few more people have in their box. You can see I don't have everyone maxed either. Got a lot of folks at 60, just barely reaching their module. Not all these modules are maxed. Some of the key operators are maxed, but not everyone here. So if you just want to see the clear, you can fast forward to the next chapter, but I wanted to talk through some of the technical issues here for folks that are trying to figure out how to do this with their box if they don't have quite everything that I have here. Mainly what we're trying to do here, we're going to have Hoshi right here facing down. She's got her module that gives her 4 block, which is really important here. And so we're going to trap all the enemies there. We've got Ifrit and a bunch of other DPS all focusing fire really on this spot right here. We're also going to leak the 2 traffic tower robots that show up in this lane. There's one of those shield defenders that shows up. We need to kill him, but the traffic towers we're just going to leak. We can leak 2 and still get a perfect clear. So that's generally what we're aiming for here. Now there's a couple key challenges on this map. Number 1 is when the gravity tilts up, those rocket cars can one-shot Hoshi. They hit really hard when they've got high speed. And so what you need is a source of slow that slows them down before they hit their first hit on Hoshi. For that we have Ines. She places her shadow sentry that stays there after she retreats, and that's going to slow down everything before it hits Hoshi. EchoGen in his video uses an Ascalon there. I had success keeping Hoshi alive by using Manticore's S1 here, also Dorothy, her S3 trap with slow. Those worked for me. I couldn't make quite the whole run work with those in the team, but if you've got other sources of slow in your box and you don't have an S, those are some options you might want to consider. Next challenge, a lot of the mobs are hitting really hard in here, and so we need tools that stall them, that tank them, that bait them, and that kill them before they reach you. So of course, Hoshi, great tank here. We've got her S2 on her for passive increased defense and passive thorns damage. We're also using Surtur and Spectre because of their unkillable capabilities. So those are going to help us tank some of these things. We're going to use Nightingale's S3 for the big boost in res. Her cages as bait in a few places. Haruka, we're using S2 here, but in some other runs, I succeeded using S3. That levitation and the stronger sanctuary can really make it good to outlast, particularly those crossroads robots. They don't seem to get levitated in the graphic, but they certainly seem to do a lot less damage when this is in effect. So that's one you might want to play with if you don't want Haruka in max healing mode, but she can help you tank some of those robots. Another one you might consider, Hoshi Alter, that S3 like invincible mode. I did draw her in this event, but I did not find Hoshi Alter to be particularly clutch for this one. But that's another option in your box if you're looking for ways to just tank for just a little while longer on a couple of these issues. Also sources of bind, Ines is pretty good at that. Those are another way to just hold some of those mobs in place for a little while you wail on them with some of these other folks. Next challenge, those traffic towers, they have a powerful ranged physical shot. You need to make sure it hits a tank or a bait, manage your deployment order a little bit, because otherwise those can definitely drop your ranged operators really easily. The traffic towers explode when they die. The explosion ability can be silenced. It still ejects the guy inside the suit, but that's where Lapland is great here. EchoGen's video uses Guard Lapland. I'm using Caster Lapland here. I just got Guard Lapland in this event and haven't built her yet, but silence really helpful to make sure that they don't explode and wipe your team with that. Finally, you just need a bunch of DPS. Here we've got Aya, Lapland, Ifrit, and Thorns all piling up damage on folks. We're, of course, heavily debuffed for attack speed and ranged attack with the debuffs that we had to take. And so things that deal damage over time, like Thorns, skills that cycle fast can be good. A skill with like a hit every 1 second mechanic instead of something based on attack speed. So like Texas Alters, S3, still does pretty good damage despite these debuffs. I'm not using her here, but those are all things that you can look for ways to get DPS out there. Also, because the enemies are heavily buffed, ignoring and debuffing defense and res are good. So that's Ifrit and Aya being able to drop some of their stats are going to help here. Finally, you just need a good amount of healing and tank so that Hoshi does not fall. And so Haruka, we've got her in healing and sanctuary mode. That's going to help us out a lot. Nightingale's resist buff we're going to be using on her S3. Saria, we have her S1, not her S2 here, because we do not need AoE healing. We just need Hoshi to not die. And so that's going to trigger when Hoshi's HP gets below 50% and it accumulates charges. So that's a really good way to just keep Hoshi alive when it's clutch. So that's the basic strategy here. Let's dive in and do it. All right, here we go. Start with Texas. Location isn't super important. She doesn't deal any damage or take any hits in this one. Throw an S right here. Go ahead and get Haruka on the map. An S with attack speed debuff is not going to generate as much DP as you would normally get from her. She's not really here for DP gen. She's mostly here for the debuff that she places on this tile, but she'll get a little bit of DP before she dies. When that first skill cycle finishes, we'll place Thorns. We're going to get our DPSs down next. It's going to be Lapland Altar, then Ifrit onto these tiles. Pop Haruka's first cycle as soon as it's ready so that we get her to infinite mode as fast as we can. All right, we'll speed up for a little bit. Lapland to start charging her trait. I know this Beam Sword can be a little bit of a problem. We're going to save Inez's next skill. All right, got Ifrit. As soon as he's in range where all three of the DPS, Thorns included, can hit him, and I'm gonna pop everything here. He's gonna pull off one hit. He's down. Now we switch to Hoshi. Let me slow it down here. Haruka on infinite mode now. All right. Now we need to start getting a little bit more healing on the map as soon as we can. We're also gonna put Surtur here for the guy coming out here. All right, we're about to get two of the high damage enemies coming out of the bottom. When they do, Lapland is going to take care of those. And Surtur's going to take care of the guy up top. So, there we go. All right, now then, a little bit of healing. The last healer we want to place is Saria, so that any ranged attackers that come into range are going to be hitting Saria, not any of these squishy people up here. So she's going to be our last one. Let's see, I could probably retreat Surtur and get back a little bit of DP, but it's always real dicey getting him killed. Just you need a little bit of help from Lapland's Wolves before he's ready to drop. All right, we are done with Texas after this. All right, so far so good. All right, so with Lapland's Wolves, we took down most of this tower. He'll drop pretty good. The next tower is going to come in with a lot of health, though. So this is where we're going to use Spectre for the first time. So when he gets into range here, we're going to go ahead and pop Volcano for the first time in Invincible mode on Spectre. There we go. Thorns is in infinite mode now. And there we go. Lost Spectre, but everyone is down. And we're good. All right, again, we're gonna leak this tower. Trick is he will get one shot off on Aya. He can kill her. You can still succeed the run in spite of that. But why bother? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place this cage at just the right moment. When he's about halfway through this tile, he can one-shot the cage, but then he's not gonna pull off any shots on Aya before he leaks. So I just put Surtur just to whack on those towers for just a little bit. There we go. One-shots the cage. Goes ahead and leaks. We're good. We're gonna release the hounds again. Let Lapland put some extra damage on these guys. That's also going to do fear that pushes him back a little bit. Help us to tank this one. Let's see. It's a good time to go ahead and use Nightingale. We need this extra res because a whole lot of powerful hitters are coming here all at the same time, but we should be able to manage it. So Lapland should be silencing. Yeah, the explosion doesn't kill anyone. All right, almost there. 5 weak guys, 2 more traffic towers. It's just pretty hard to lose at this point. All right, same thing as last time. We're gonna place the cage to keep Aya alive. I probably don't need her at this point, but we've got 1 cage left. May as well keep her alive if we can. Not a lot of wiggle room here, so play it in slow motion until you get it right. There we go. 1 shot on the cage, leak that traffic tower. Now we just have 1 left. And as long as he is silenced when he explodes, there's nothing that's gonna go wrong. And there we go. All right, hope that helps you. Hope you can figure out how to manage a clear like that with your box. Good luck, have fun.